Welcome to Joa Fitness Health Wellness Video Podcast, a space to ignite your day through positive conversations. We bring people that have created excellence in their life, sharing high vibration in their reawakening path.
Hello, happy Friday, everybody. Today is another day, and I'm very happy to say hi and for you to take your time to be here with me. My name is Joa Rivas. I am a yoga and Pilates teacher for over 11 years. I live in the city of Toronto, and I'm excited to bring every Friday an episode related to health and wellness, especially for posture, anything related to the spine is actually close to me because I had scoliosis when I was 15 years old. And actually this it changed the direction of my career, and I was so curious about why my back was hurting when I was waking up, when I was going to sleep, and I was all day. I was 15 years old, and I was just having a body of a 90. So after 10 years, I healed my back with a lot of consistency. I worked with professionals that helped me to understand, and after 11 years practicing, I got now to bring professionals, and today we have Amy Novotny. She is in Texas now, and she's just giving us her precious time one more time to talk about breath work. And today we're going to be focusing on the breath work that will help us to minimize the levels of anxiety and the levels of stress that we are all coping with now. How are you, Amy?
I'm doing well, Joa. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Amy. This is your second time with us, and I'm just always blessed when somebody actually accepts my invitation for a second time, because, and you do have an institute. You actually kind of came out from the box and you created your own method, and it's called the PABR Institute. Tell us a little bit one more time for those people that are you catching up this podcast now. What is the PABR Institute?
Sure. So PABR stands for Pain Awareness Breathing Relief. So it's a business that I started to help people who have pain, stress, and anxiety, or who are going into different orthopedic surgeries that don't want to have those surgeries and they want to get out of the pain of their life. And so we work on that fight or flight nervous system that ramps us up. And we teach people, it's a coaching process of how to calm yourself down and to alleviate the chronic pain, to alleviate the acute pain, and eventually can help people get out of surgeries.
Yes, and even that, you can also reduce the meds, which is very important, trying to get our own natural ways to heal. So yeah, that's so important. We talked last Friday, about breath work and how we can actually take 5 minutes practice from our office or from a chair to just calm ourselves through connecting to our breath. I teach yoga, and I do this constantly. It's a way for me to anchor myself into the present moment, because we do get every minute we get bombarded with all this information from our phone to the people that are distracting us around us. So it's very important to always come back into our breath work. I wanted today to go a little bit more into the detail about what is the connection between the emotions and where they are actually deposited in the body, the emotions and the deposit. Like, is it a specific place that they are deposited?
Yeah, so whenever we have some type of emotion, especially a negative emotion, it gets stored in our body as well as what plays on in our mind. And there are areas that appeared where we have emotions that get stored more. So if you have some type of a trauma situation where something is really impacting you, there's different areas like your armpits or your breastbone or below your breastbone at the xiphoid process, or even at the front of your hips. Those areas seem to store a lot of our emotions. And what happens is our muscles start to tighten up and contract without our recognition or awareness of that. And the more we're going through a traumatic experience, the more this happens, and it basically shifts us so that we become in a guarded, protective, high alert state.
So there is a correlation between the nerve system and that trigger response coming from a fight or flight, like where the cortisol spikes. Is it like intrinsically, like how is the connection between these two?
So our nervous system, so let's say you have a bad day at work, you're going to be ramped up. So that puts us in a state that's not really calm, that's not restful. And so what happens then is your cortisol levels in your bloodstream go up in response to that. A lot of times your adrenaline may go up as well, but there's a physiological change in your muscles that happens too. They start to contract throughout our body, often without your awareness. Sometimes you might feel buzzed or like you're tight or you can't move as well. That's a sympathetic tone. And so we need to become aware of that, because even if you clear your mind or your emotions of something and you feel better about that traumatic situation or that stressor, if you haven't cleared your body's still in that fight or flight state, and it doesn't match up with your brain and your emotions. There's a mismatch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am actually, from all these years of practice, I got captivated by Thai massage. And then I went to Thailand, and then I took a program specifically that is called Chinay-san, and it's basically based on the connection of emotions in our gut, right? So basically the liver connected to the anger, and lungs to sadness. So every organ is supposed to be related to a specific emotion. So basically, like what you were just saying, because I just want to connect what I know and what you are actually teaching us now, is that there's certain areas that actually create more tension as we are increasing these levels of cortisol, stress, in the body.
Yes.
Is there a particular way, like, or even a book that you can recommend us to read more about it, and specifically like people that having hip issues, people having neck problems? Is this related to a particular emotion, or you are just telling us that all the emotions could be related to any area?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Thanks for asking that. So every person is actually different. How you hold your emotions is going to be different. And so some of the areas I pointed out in front of your hips or your breastbone, those are common areas where most people do hold it. But how that shows up in your body, like let's say you have hip pain, that is layer upon layer of different stressors. And each person needs individual attention to say, okay, let's look at where your rib cage is positioned. Your rib cage affects your pelvis, which affects your hip, which affects your knee, and all the way down to your toes and all the way up to your head. So based on your history and your movement patterns and how you are, active or not active, that's going to determine the process for unwinding you. But there are some basics that everyone can learn, such as getting your rib cage down, letting your belly button come out as you exhale. That can help release a lot of the tension and stress in your body. So, but for a specific body part, there's not really one set of motion saying like sadness relates to your hips. I haven't found that out there, and I don't know of a book that's out there like that, because everyone is completely different, and how you're made up is very unique and special in that sense as well.
Yes, okay. So why don't we actually tell 2 tips for those people that are in this moment struggling, perhaps because they have lost their job, they have lost a family member, they are in a transition and they feel a little bit hopeless, which maybe, who knows, and maybe somebody is in this situation. We all have been in a situation, including myself. So I want to just give maybe 2 tips about breath work and emotions, something that it will definitely change the day of somebody.
Sure. So the top 3 tips that I would give for someone who wants to calm themselves down and to help with their breathing is, first, sit all the way back in your chair, let your back relax, and let your belly out. Then you want to work on your breathing. So when you exhale, your chest goes in, your belly comes out. And 3, watch how much you're sucking your breath in and how much you are holding your breath. We don't want to suck our gut in. We don't want to hold our breath. So if you could follow those 3 things, it can be a huge game changer for your day.
Okay. So yes, especially the shallow breath is something that we notice, and it comes from actually mouth breathing. We had 3 months ago a doctor that was actually a dentist that taught us so much about tongue posture, and also about snoring, and how most of us are now breathing through the mouth all the time, which is causing a shallow breath, it's causing all these issues in the body, including snoring. So, well, you know what? You have shared great tips and also great information. I'm not taking more time today, but perhaps another edition next week. Perhaps let's see how the week goes. Thank you so much to everybody. Amy, do you have anything else you want to share today before we go?
And just take the time to really see how much are you holding your body in tension. If we have some awareness of that, we can really start to shift our body. It catches us off guard all the times, and we have some innate subconscious habits that once we learn how to tame them and change them, it can really change your life. So thank you so much, Joa.
Thank you, Amy. I think one thing before we go, I will actually invite you guys, whoever listens to this, to practice in a very short time, in a specific time too. So you can say, okay, I'm going to practice what I just heard before dinner or when I wake up. So set it up as an activity in your day and set it up short, because the idea is to get the practice there. It's not about the length, but the depth. Like how deep can you go? How much attention can you actually bring into your body for 3 minutes? Perhaps one day you could do 25 minutes. Particularly myself, I do it every day, 25 minutes before I start my day. But it took me 11 years to get into this practice, daily practice. I make a big difference in my day when I do it. I notice when I skip it, something is off my body. So I just invite you to try it alone and practice and tell me, what do you feel when you do this? Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Not taking more time from you. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you next Friday. Have a beautiful time. Happy weekend.
We invite you to subscribe to this channel and share with your community. Please leave comments below, and if you like the episode, click the like button. Have a beautiful day.